But first tonight, the push to bring down power prices. South Australians are fed up with paying the nation's highest price for electricity, while others are being forced to turn it off altogether and shiver this winter because they simply can't afford it. Here's Pippa Bradshaw with a campaign that hopes to force the Premier's hand to cut the cost before the next election.
Now we're only on one wage. Still, the bills are still going up and we still have to live.
It is out of control at the moment.
The first thing the state government needs to do is to make this the #1 issue for South Australia.
All we're getting is a lot of talk and blame shifting.
The problem we have is that the other states don't understand the issue of interconnection.
But no signs of real action.
We turn off everything. Nothing is on standby power anymore, so everything goes off at the power switch.
Tom Koutsantonis, South Australia's Treasurer, is the Don Quixote of the energy political game at the moment, unfortunately, tilting at windmills and, taking on everyone from the ACCC to the federal government to COAG in a bid to find some sort of solution. Let's hope he has more luck than Don Quixote did.
This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far.
So as Premier, Jay Weatherill and his sidekick, the Energy Minister Tom Koutsantonis, keep tilting at windmills, some of which help blow up your power bill.
I think a much more mature approach would be look at the entire jigsaw.
Say what?
Which is renewables have their role to play. Gas generation has its role as a transition fuel.
You have learned the terrible truth.
I gotta tell everyone.
No one will believe you.
What signals are the Commonwealth sending through their policies about the renewable energy target, and how does the national electricity market respond to that?
South Australia made a big bet on renewables, and that bet's been lost in the last week. But that's not the sole reason that prices spiked.
The vast majority of families in this stricken state, like Samantha Spencer's, are forced to do it tough, and they simply have had enough.
And the bills just keep rising. The last bill was $575 and we're paying it in 3 terms.
What makes it even more critical for Samantha, she has a serious medical condition.
With MS, you have to have your temperature regulated, and I know how hard that is for me, and I can't imagine other people sitting at home having to sit there rugged up in blankets.
When you have power prices this high, it kills jobs, it makes it impossible for pensioners, those on a fixed income, to get by, and that's why this has to be a #1 priority across the political spectrum.
We think this is the #1 issue as far as the 2018 state election goes.
But for our green-eyed government, more preoccupied with blowouts to its delayed hospital, more trams, O-Bahns and roads, they've still got their heads in the sand, says Joel Gibson from One Big Switch.
The only thing that can be done to bring down the extraordinary spot prices of power in South Australia is more cheap baseload generation, access to more cheap baseload generation. Now that means turning plants back on, or building more plants, or connecting better with the plants in other states.
A poll of One Big Switch members found the only person they could trust to do something is Senator Nick Xenophon, who plans to run candidates in every seat at the next state election.
He seems to be able to get things done, whereas the others seem to tiptoe around everything else. They say a lot, but they don't seem to do a lot.
Nick Xenophon is seen as the white knight for South Australia's power crisis, and South Australians are desperate to hear some fresh ideas from the Nick Xenophon team because they're not hearing them from anybody else in South Australian politics.
I'm quite humbled by that finding, but it's a very heavy and awesome responsibility. This is something that I've been working on. Rather than shooting from the hip, it's going to involve a lot of deliberative work in the next few months to get some long-term power relief. We need to have some measures in place before next summer.
When he returns to Canberra, he'll move for a Senate inquiry into the national energy market.
The fact that there are people in the state tonight that won't be able to afford to put on heating in their homes and shiver their way to sleep is a disgrace.
So One Big Switch, along with Today Tonight and News Limited, is campaigning for more Australians to band together in one large group and receive huge discounts from energy suppliers.
We're up over 50,000 people have joined this campaign now, over 7,000 people in South Australia alone, and that's just 2 weeks in. We've still got 2 weeks to build the size of the group.
Samantha has joined the chorus. You can too by visiting the One Big Switch website to register.
People just sitting in their homes, sitting in blankets, because they can't put their heater on, is a no-go.